Unless it's not with your family sometimes. You know what I mean? I think they're the most happiest people sometimes. That's why I'm out of.
That's why I don't walk my dogs. Just I gotta get together. So avoid that. Avoid that.
And I'm still out of breath. They're not helping very much.
Yeah.
Mary Llewellyn, I see your name on the screen. Can you hear us?
I can.
Yay! Hi, Miss Sharon.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing better, thank you.
Good. He's not in here. PT logged
How
in.
you doing?
But I imagine people will be
They have no right.
hopping on here.
How many realtors do you guys have?
I know, but.
But
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we see probably whether you with them on a
Okay.
regular basis.
Okay.
And a lot of them are still, COVID or they're at work right now.
Right.
Wow.
Are they all local?
No. Two at Deep Creek. Yeah,
Okay.
two at Deep Creek. We have one down in way down west.
Hey.
You're all town.
That's West Virginia, but she said she does send one.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So,
Good.
Sharpsburg.
Have you met Rocio?
Yes,
A
we
little bit.
did. It's been, yeah, it's been a little while.
Yeah.
But
All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. Of course, we'll have some
Williams.
stragglers join us. The ones on realtor time. Will be coming in very shortly. So we have a special guest joining us this morning. This is Kelly with Rainbow, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about the services that they provide. Hey, Karen, come on in. And
You don't have any right now?
real success. And Jen. There's Michelle. So while people are joining in, we'll go ahead and let Kelly get started. Kelly did bring us Subway today. Thank you very much for bringing us lunch. We appreciate that. And so when she's done, we'll grab some lunch and then we'll come back and roll with our, okay. And then roll with our meeting. So take it away, Kelly. And if you need me to click, let me know. Or if you want to click, you're welcome to.
You want to show me how to use it?
Yeah.
That
That one right there.
See, I wouldn't have done that somehow. All right, awesome. Hi guys, so I'm Kelly. I'm with Rainbow International. We are based in Waynesboro, PA. It's actually a franchise, so there's branches everywhere. I think I was actually speaking to you earlier. We have a couple that are local, so even if we can't help, we can work for you guys. But I wanted to do a quick introduction with everyone. I know that trying to get one-on-one with you guys is almost impossible. So I was like, well, if I can get you all in one room, we can do it all at once. So that's my goal for today. So we'll go ahead and roll right into it.
And then I'll go.
There we go. Okay, so a little introduction on me. My name is Kelly Furman, 27 years old. I have a daughter named Gabby. She is 7. My spouse is Ray. I have 2 dogs, Samson, who is a Gerberian Shepsky, and then Cyrilla, who's a German Shepherd. Prior to this, I worked at Citi, which I think everybody in this area at some point has worked at Citi or knows somebody who has, but I consider that my first real job. And then I went to F&M Trust for banking. So I really enjoyed F&M. I think is where I found my niche. I really enjoy working with people. I like being out in the community. I like doing events. I like doing volunteer work. I like being face to face. But I was confined in an office for 8 to 10 hours a day. That I didn't like. So I had to find something that was a little bit different, balance of both. So that's where I found Rainbow. Biggest reasons, I'll do an introduction on the owners here in just a minute, but it's 2 brothers. They've lived in Greencastle and Waynesboro all their lives. It's a very tight-knit group. They just show the appreciation that an employee wants. So it made it very easy to make that transition into a new career path. And it's the work that I like to do. So that is me. All right. So these are our owners here. So like I said, Rainbow is actually a franchise. They've been around since the 60s. They started off with carpet cleaning and carpet dyeing. I didn't know it was a thing, but apparently it was.
Did they ever make those vacuum cleaners?
No.
Okay.
I can't tell you how many times I have gotten that. They're like, call and they're like, oh, I love your vacuum. And I'm like, wrong one. So no, but I've heard they're really good. So the brothers that own this franchise are Mark and Brian Bittner. You guys might not know them, but anywhere else, they're like celebrity in that area. Everybody knows them. And I'm like, they're just two guys. Like, how do you do this? Anyways, they're awesome guys. Both of them have almost 20 years experience in construction. So their dad actually owned a construction company for about 40 years. So they've been around it all their lives. And then their dad, they actually bought their dad's company out, and he is now their head of their construction division. So again, tight-knit, family-oriented kind of atmosphere. Both of them have post-high school training. They have a very strong background in HVAC. So Mark is our hands-on field tech kind of guy. Brian is our office kind of guy. So Brian was in engineering, and then of course Mark was out in the field doing some HVAC. So they started this rainbow as of April 25th, 2019 was our opening day. So a little over 2 years now. I think we're finally at a spot that we can consider ourselves a real company, and it feels awesome. And right now it started out Brian, Mark, and myself. That was our crew. Brian and Mark were in the field every day doing everything, and we are up to a crew of 8 right now. That is not including me or our admin assistant. So in 2 years, we have grown exponentially, and we're hoping for it to continue. So moving on here, I like to include this. So Rainbow has a set of core values that we recite every Monday morning. We have a meeting with the team. We recite these every Monday morning just to keep them fresh in our heads. The only one that I don't necessarily agree with is there's one in here about sarcasm. Speaking calmly and respectfully without profanity and sarcasm, like, I just want to scratch the sarcasm. That's not true. Exactly.
Never last there.
It's impossible, right? So every time we say that, I'm like,
Everybody's sarcastic to me.
right. Is there anybody named Rich in this room by chance? Okay, so almost everyone I've had a guy named Rich, and I'm like, look, Rich, it was for you, but not this time. So, anyways, just a couple core values that, like I said, we try to live by as much as possible. All right, so why am I here today? So when I started, our goal was to brainstorm some industries that we think we're really going to have an impact on. Of course, homeowners are number one, but we don't want to just go and resolve homeowner. We're trying to help along the way as well. So realtors were one that we realized that our list of services and your jobs mesh very nicely. The number one thing, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the number one thing that I would imagine your priority is to get a sale or a purchase done as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible. Is that correct? Okay, so a lot of head nods. All right. So the best way that I can think to do that is to have a team that when that problem comes up, you've got a solution. There is no searching for 8 different contractors, trying to go through reviews, trying to get referrals. It's a headache. So our goal is to be that one-stop shop for you guys, that if you have a mold problem, call us and we can get you taken care of it. If you need a small fixture done, call us and we can get you taken care of it. If you need a renovation done, we got you. In addition to that, not only for our own purposes, but for individuals such as yourselves, we've built our own connection for some of the specialty industries as well, like HVAC, plumbing, electrical. Over the past 2 years, we've gone through a lot of companies just to find those good fits that mesh with our qualities. I think we've got a pretty solid team now. So that means that we can help you just about any route that you're looking for. Even if we specifically don't do it, we can get you a resource that we know and that we trust. So again, we're just here to hopefully be an aid to you guys when those pesky ones come up. All right, so what we do, water mitigation, mold testing, and remediation. The testing is new, but we are certified to do pre and post testing now. And then we do the remediation, fires and smoke restoration, carpet cleaning, tile cleaning, grout resealing, deodorization, construction services, extreme cleaning. I put hoarder in there because if you call it hoarding, nobody wants to be called a hoarder. So they usually just shut down and that's it. But we call it extreme cleaning. It's a little bit gentler. And then mind games.
I like that.
And then most recently we added trauma scene and biohazard cleanup. Hopefully you guys aren't coming across that too terribly often, but you'd be surprised. So
Yeah, well,
yes, that's true. I didn't think of that. That's too funny. Well, just in case. I'm not wishing it on
Good to know it's
anybody.
there.
Right. where we do it, so we cover all of Franklin County. We are a PA-based company, so we cover all of Franklin County. I don't know how familiar you guys are with that. We go out into McConnellsburg. Shippensburg is our furthest northern point. Gettysburg is as far east as we go. And then we've recently expanded down into Hagerstown. Now, what I will say with that is, like I mentioned prior, because it's a franchise, there's branches not all over the place, but we've got a good few in this area. So if there is an instance that you need help, like in West Virginia or somewhere further that we just don't extend, we've again built that network with our other franchise owners. That way we can refer to one another as needed. We've used everybody that we would refer you to. We've worked on jobs with them, so we know their quality of work. We're not just blindly sending you to someone. So, all right, numero uno, mold. Not going to go too far into this. It's a whole process, but the biggest thing is the signs of mold. So I'm sure you guys have all caught that musty smell when you walk into a basement. The peeling paint is one that I did not realize. So you see the little bubbles and peels in the paint. A lot of times that does mean that there's a potential for mold growth there, and somebody probably just painted over it to cover it up for a second. Watermarks. There was a water leak. If it wasn't corrected, there's probably mold. And then of course, visible spores. If you can see it, it's there. The problem is just figuring out how much there is, because it's kind of like an iceberg. What you see isn't always what you get. Usually there's a lot more to offer. And then a history of water loss in the home as well. So we have a whole process that we go through. The biggest thing is we do the pre-test and the post-test. So the pre-test is to really diagnose how bad it is and where it's at in the house. The post-test is to confirm that we have done everything we can and the mold is gone. So those are the two that I try to highlight, and then the rebuild as well. Number one, best way to get mold out is to remove whatever it's on. So that means tearing out drywall, ripping out flooring, whatever the case may be. Some companies go in and do that demolition, take it all out, and then they leave. And now you gotta find another contractor to come in and put it all back. We've got the ability to do start to finish, from ripping down the wall to put paint on the new one. So one-stop shop on that as well. All right, so a couple before and afters here. So this is one that we did recently. I don't know how well, yeah, they look good. So this is the same house. So this was a bathroom. I actually found this on Facebook. Somebody said, we need a cleaner. And I was like, yeah, you need a little more, darling. so I'm right.
That looks like a house that I looked at.
Yeah. So on the left is the before. It's a bathroom. The entire bathroom looks like this.
Yeah.
They were hoping to get somebody to come in for a couple $100, scrub the walls down. It doesn't work like that. So this is our after. I did not pick that paint color. That's not that is not us picking that. But as you can see, it's a brand new bathroom. And in the meantime, the gentleman needed some ADA accommodations. We were already there. So the bathtub is actually turned up against the wall here. It's now a walk-in shower. There's going to be bars and all kinds. So in the process, we also did a full renovation because we're already there. And the guy was like, you know what? You got to rip it out. You might as well put it back the way that I need it. So just a good example of how we can make some changes along the way. All right. Carpet cleaning. So of course, this is one thing that we offer that you guys probably come across a lot, is just to freshen up on carpets. So we have a 6-step process on how we do it. The biggest thing, again, is we do hot water extraction. So some people call it steam cleaning, same thing, but we're shooting hot water down into that carpet and then extracting it back out. So there's a disinfectant type there that is going to kill any type of bacteria that helps with odor. And then because we're extracting it back out, it dries a lot quicker as well. We're not just laying shampoo down and hoping that it dries in 6 to 8 hours. So typically we say maximum 4 hours to dry. If you need it sooner, because of the equipment we have big giant fans that we can set up to get that process expedited. So that's carpet cleaning. All right, deodorization is another one. So outside of realtors, we don't get too many requests for this, but I'm sure you guys have come across some good ones. So we have covered anything. I mean, you can see the list here. So we got pet urine, food and moisture, tobacco smoke, skunk, perspiration, cannabis, sewage, and more. So we've tackled all of these at this point. It's never a guarantee, of course, because the only way, again, to get rid of a odor issue is to remove whatever it is. But a lot of the solutions that we have penetrate a little bit deeper into surfaces to really pull those things out. Biggest thing I can ask is if you guys have something that you know an odor is present, please don't paint. You're just locking it in there. So if you want to try to get rid of it, don't paint over it because that doesn't help. So another before and after, kind of before and after. So this was a home, the woman lived there for about 35 years and smoked in it the entire time. So the lines on the wall, yes. After we put our solution on, we let it sit. That way it can do its job while it's sitting there. So that's all nicotine running down the walls. Yeah, it was a tremendous before and after. It was incredible what they were able to do without removing anything because they didn't want to do that. So we did our best and it made a huge difference. So, this is what I try to highlight for you guys. So I picked some of the services that I think are going to match the best with you. You guys probably aren't going to come across water losses. You're probably not going to come across fire. So I don't really touch on those. Excuse me. There we go. Okay, so. Hello? Okay. All right. So somebody just wants me to stop.
Yeah, they're like, okay, you're done.
That's enough. All right, so what we've done is we've built a freshen up package. So this includes all of the services that we think are going to work best for you guys. So that includes carpet cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, deodorization, upholstery cleaning. We have residential just cleaning. That way, if they just want to do a real quick wipe down before they do a showing or an open house, we have that option, and then construction services. So I'm sure, again, you guys know that every house is a little bit different. They're all going to have different needs. We've built this package as kind of an a la carte option. So if you guys have somebody that has a couple drywall repairs they need to make, they'd like to get the carpets refreshed and then maybe a quick dust before the open house happens, we can kind of lump that all into this package, get it all done in one day, and that way you guys are done. Maybe they've got a bigger renovation, they want to expand the bathroom a little bit because it's going to help resale value. Might as well get it cleaned while you're there. We can do that. So like I said, kind of a la carte that you guys can pick from those options and build your own package that you think is going to meet for your customer, and we'll get you taken care of from there. In addition to that, as long as they mention, hey, my realtor at Keller Williams referred you, they'll get a discount as well. So yeah, helps a little bit with incentive. All right, that's all I had for you guys. I was trying to go quick and easy, but yeah, if you have questions, what's up, Earl?
So they're in my BNI group, and I've used them. They do an amazing job. I had a house that needed just a few minor things taken care of. They came in, did it. They were very happy. The other thing too is, one of the things to be aware of is, smoke in houses is a big deal and it's very challenging.
Yes.
They can deal with that.
Yeah.
So if you have a house that's really smoky and you gotta put on the market, nowadays, that's like a huge turnoff. It's a big deal.
Gosh, yeah.
They've done that for me, and I've also given them referrals for them. And what she didn't tell you is, like, aren't you like #1 or something? You got
Yes.
some like huge award, 2 years in business. And the other thing that I like personally, when somebody says they're going to be a home inspector, have they ever done building? Have they done any construction?
Great.
They've got the experience. They've done construction. So that to me is huge. So, but you got to tell them about your award.
Yes. So about 6 months ago, I guess it was. No, it's probably longer ago than that. So we were open for about a year at the time. Rainbow being a franchise, they have all different types of awards that they give out on a yearly basis. So about a year into business, our franchise coach had contacted us, and because of our performance in just a year and the amount that we grew and some of the volunteer efforts that we were doing at just a year, we actually won Franchise of the Month within a year of business. So, yes, Yes, so I don't like to shoot my own horn, but Karen let me do that. So, yeah, so that was huge because usually that's something that after a couple years, and there's 400 franchises across the country, so how do you pick just one? So little old Waynesboro, a crew of like 5 people at that time to win that was awesome. So yeah, just shows that.
I think they go with our belief system, big deal.
I was
Yeah.
reading those. Yeah, those
Yes.
are awesome, and they're very similar to
Yep.
to ours. Just be a good person. That's it's not hard. If that means that I have to say, listen, I'm sorry, I don't think we're a good fit. Here's somebody that I think can help you. Then that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm not. Yeah, yeah, it is. It's just being a good person. It seems like it's getting rarer, but it is.
Yes.
I can be the shy screw. I'm gonna. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. Do you guys have any other questions or comments or?
You said you'd come to Hagerstown, but you'll come to Washington County.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
all apparently.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yep, we'll get you covered wherever it may be, and like I said, if we have to refer, we will as
And
well.
if you lose their information, call me and I'll get it for you.
Yeah, Karen's she's in BNI with
Brian.
Brian, one of the owners, and then I'm in a Chambersburg BNI, so we work together very closely, very closely. Yeah. So, that's all I have, guys.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, thanks for having me, guys, and yeah, like she said, Subway's out here, so
Yes.
you're welcome to indulge.
Anybody on Zoom have any questions? I didn't see anything laid up in the chat, so I'll assume no. All right, Zoom participants, give us like 3-4 minutes here to go grab lunch, and then we're gonna get started with the other presentations.
Thanks so much. Yeah, of course, thank you.
Kelly,
for
this
having
was really
me.
good.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of stuff.
So, you know, sometimes, I just told Brian the other day, sometimes I feel like a babysitter.
Yeah, I
I just need to come back and say, hey, remember us?
Yeah, I was thinking we need to do like another one-to-one. I mean, this presentation was really close.
I made a couple tweaks this morning just because like that mold job we just got recently.
There was something you said
So what do you all have good to eat?
I think they have Subway sandwiches.
Okay. I can't attend in person because stupid school bus on Wednesdays, the VOTEC gets out at 12. So I'm on my way to pick those little turkeys up. But
At Green Park, no, I thought you. I don't know. I saw it.
Stop it.
I didn't watch that video. That is such a good video too, I swear.
All right, we're gonna start in about a minute. I saw Ashley red, like it was like somebody.
Feverish. So it's like it was real hot. Well, you know, today my.
Hey, don't go to the Penmar office. They're closed. Somebody's got COVID.
Sandy's sick. She's been out, so.
Oh.
So, so at the gym, this girl came in and I was talking and she was.
Zoom participants, I believe we have Ashley's iPhone. Can someone tell me which Ashley this
Hey,
is?
thanks for meeting up.
Oh,
Ashley's iPhone, who is that?
Oh.
Ashley LaWall.
Okay, thank you. Mark, you present.
We're gonna have fun.
Yeah, we
Yeah, well, I think
That's what, we went to Windsor.
that's what I always say too. You can't cover it all.
But, you know, I know quite a bit.
All right.
So. I forgot about this one.
I think we're gonna get started. Everybody got something to eat? Okay. So welcome to our main team meeting. It's like almost the end of May, right? Like,
Crazy.
who started Christmas shopping?
Oh,
I'm just saying, it's like.
This is fighting
So, yeah, without further ado, we're gonna get started.
Hey, thanks for meeting on such short notice. As you're
It's just desperate. Take it away.
She's really anxious to talk.
Oh, yeah. Let me back there. So Michelle found this great video that I think most of you are gonna be able to relate to. You've heard the first second of it 100 times now. So let's hear
Hey,
it.
thanks for meeting on such short notice. As your realtor, I am always here for you. You know, we've been thinking about a move after, staring at the same walls for a year. I saw a house that went on the market down the street. I think we want to take a look at it. Cool. The seller wants all the offers by 3 p.m. today. I'm sure it's in 20 minutes. I don't know if I can buy a house I've never been inside. Let's see. Okay. I can get you a 4-minute virtual showing starting in the next. A virtual showing? Yeah. Sellers don't really need to let people in their houses anymore. Oh, because of COVID. Sure. Yeah. Expensive. A lot of money for just seeing a couple exterior photos and a floor plan. Wow. I know, right? No, did you say floor plan? Yeah. Well, that's really generous of them to include a floor plan. Generous. You should be so grateful. Okay, a lot of sellers are accepting over asking. Over asking, what is that? Bidding above the sale price. We used to bid like 50 grand below the sale price. Oh, those days are long gone. So what are you comfortable with? Maybe 5,000 over asking? Or 7? What? Is that the best we can do? But I haven't even seen it. You know what? My friend is the listing agent. Let me call him and feel him out. Okay, cool. Thanks.
So true.
Sorry to bother you with another interested buyer. You know, I just have to keep the price they're thinking.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to let her know. What did he say? They have 72 offers and the lowest is 50,000 over asking. $50,000? Are you kidding me? He did say this is an emotional move for them, so maybe a letter could help you. A letter. Just like a little love note about how much you love their home and how honored you'd be if they chose you. I have to write a cover letter for a house, like a resume. We can get creative, like a poem or a haiku, or get your husband to write a parody for them. So a song to the house? Yes, like, I want to buy your house. But you know what, you can't say anything about your kids or your background or your life or anything too personal, but make it really creative and hug at them emotionally. I'm so confused. Okay, I've got all the additional terms. Lay it on me. Nothing's gonna surprise me right now. You pay for all the closing costs. No, they take all the appliances and the light fixtures and the hardwoods. They're reclaimed, so they're just reclaiming them. So no lights or pool. And you just have to pay for their move across town. Their move across town? No, this is for the first semester of their daughter's college tuition. This is honestly. Oh, they also have your dog. How did they know we were dogs? Listen, we were just thinking about it. No thinking, just buying. We thought we'd take the weekend and just like shop around. Oh, if you could move out by Thursday, I have an all cash offer for your house. Wait, what? My house? Are you good with this? There is no way. Oh. No. Just model contractors are so backed up right now. Really? Oh, look, a new listing. That is on the highway, but it has lights and floors. And negotiate. Nope, no, we can't. It's gone. Buyers are giving them a boat and a pony. A pony? No, that house is literally sitting on top of the highway. I know, we missed a good one. And scene. We love our realtor friends. I have several friends who are realtors, and it is a joke. I did, or maybe we'll just like, I don't know, interest rates are good. Let's shop around. I'm looking for something different. No, I don't have a pony to offer anybody or a houseboat that I can trade. Nothing. So we'll be into this house until we leave in a pine box, apparently. So anyway, if you're looking for a house right now, good luck with that haiku you have to write to the owners. And if you're selling your house, have fun on your new boat with all your ponies and puppies. Generous?
Is anyone feeling that?
Yeah.
Is anyone like feeling that? Yes. Yes, yes.
worn out after chasing whatever he was chasing.
Thank you for finding that.
so true, right, Lori Michelle?
All right, so just like with us, that her organization has company values that they live and operate by. For those of you that don't know, hey, Miss Lori, we also have a MVVVP that we are operating by as well. And somewhere along the way, this sort of got lost in the corporate shuffle. And we used to, go over this at every meeting, every chance we could, and that fell by the wayside, and it's back. And so, yay, you guys are gonna know these just the way that Kelly knows her Rich. And there's nothing in here about sarcasm, so we're good. We're safe. So our MVVVP, the first one is our mission. And Karen, can you read our mission for us?
To build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving.
How many of you are building a career worth having? Yeah. Yeah. How many of you are living a life worth living? Yeah. And who's working towards a legacy worth leaving?
Yeah.
Amen. Amen. Next up is our vision. I was going to call on Dorothy, but that wouldn't be a good choice right now. Susie, can you read our vision for us, Susie?
To be the real estate company of choice for agents and their customers.
Awesome, thank you. And our values. Lori, you want to read them for us?
God, family, then business.
God, family, then business. Our belief system, I don't know how these come up on our graphics, so. All right, so I'll read down through these. We have our Y4C2Ts, which stand for win-win or no deal. Integrity, we do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, opportunities for all. And success results through people. And then lastly, our perspective. Kate, you want to read that one for me?
A technology company that provides the real estate platform that our agents, buyers, and sellers prefer. Keller Williams thinks like a top producer, acts like a trainer consultant, and focuses all of its activities on service, productivity, and profitability.
Amen. Super. So culture is something that we're really getting back to our grassroots on, our foundation, and culture is huge right now from a leadership perspective on what we are to be focusing on. So culture is the result of organizing the goals of a business around a solid, positive core values, and then proceeding to cultivate them on a daily basis. Anyone have a great example of KW culture in action that they've seen the last month or so that they want to share?
She had to go.
Oh, Shelley's coming back.
Yeah.
Shelley's coming back.
Shelly is the epitome of culture in our market center. She's always available for the agents. She's always willing to help no matter daylight, at night, when she's working, when she's not working. She's just really awesome. And so I appreciate Shelly.
I had an issue with my numbers, and we all know how important numbers are. And I had a wonderful woman who took time out of her Sunday to come spend it with me and my husband so we wouldn't kill each other, trying to figure those numbers out. And I do appreciate her more than you know. You have no idea. She saved my marriage.
I had to sit between you.
She saved my marriage. She really did. Okay, seriously, she sat between us. I was like, wow. Yeah, but giving of time. And I mean, she's not getting anything from me except a hard time.
No, I want to see everybody, I mean, knowing your numbers is really important. And I've heard people say, oh, I don't know what they are, I just put money in my account, whatever. But I think it's important, so there is a spreadsheet I've created, and I'm gonna share that, and I'm gonna teach that class soon. Because that's important.
Awesome. I saw that the Robies were on here, so I just want to give a sample that I've seen recently of culture. So we all know Larry and Lana are part of our KW family. Unfortunately, they're in Deep Creek, and so they can't always be here with us.
Unfortunately,
Fortunately,
yeah.
they're in Deep Creek.
Yeah, for them.
Unfortunately for us, fortunately for them, they're in Deep Creek. So we all know that Red Day was last week. And Red Day is our day of service where we give back to the communities where we live. And Lana and Larry, even though they're not here in Hagerstown and they couldn't partake in our events that we were doing, they plugged in Deep Creek and they went and they served. And nobody told them to, nobody asked them to, nobody suggested they did it. That's what they did because that's our culture, and they are great examples of that culture. So we appreciate them and what they're doing. So yeah, culture is a huge focus of ours right now. Speaking of culture, Shelly, who had to run and pick up a check and who isn't here, Shelly was just nominated for our Cultural Market Center Ambassador for 2021. So this is a, what's the word I'm looking for? A title accolade that you receive, and once you receive it, it's always yours. You can only receive it once, and so I don't know. Do we have any other culture ambassadors in here? Dorothy, Lenny, Trish. Yeah. So once you have that accolade, it's always yours. But so this year it's Shelly, and we just appreciate Shelly. and what she does. And then basically the region, our Maryland DC region, picks 2 people to represent our region from a cultural standpoint, and these were the 2 ladies that were chosen for our region. So, but we appreciate Shelley and just thank her for everything that she does. All right, Phil Dunphy, he's my favorite realtor.
I love him.
He is my favorite realtor. All right, bucket fills. Anybody that's on Zoom, feel free to come off mute if you want to. But who's filling your bucket nowadays? Who do you want to show some gratitude to?
Lori, thank you so much for the weekend. You're welcome. And Dorothy always picks up for me too. And of course, you gotta thank Lenny.
Gotta thank Lenny.
He's always being
Oh, don't look.
Awesome.
I throw it back on Shelley.
And Shelley, yeah.
Well, you don't hire her, so.
Yeah.
Susie still on? Susie Butts. So thank you, Susie Butts, for helping me out this last week.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Is Karen on?
I didn't see her at the
Because she helped me while I was gone.
Great. Great.
And I want to thank Kate for helping me do a video. She's very uncomfortable with it, but she tried to make it fun for me.
It was good.
It was good.
You did great. You did.
She's a natural.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You said be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes, yes.
It's so true. Hey, Adrian, I just want to thank all the agents that helped our team out while we were on vacation together. We greatly appreciate that we were able to go together and have some fun downtime. So I do appreciate the agents that helped us out.
Thank you, Mary.
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to say. Mary took it for me. Thanks, Mary.
You're welcome. And I also want to give thanks to how hard my buyer agents work and how awesome my Krista Vanderford and Priscilla is. I am working Priscilla to death back there right now. So she's got a massage gift card coming. Love you, girl.
She's just working.
I don't know if she's there, but she is working so hard.
I came the other night at like 6 o'clock and she was in there. And I said, girl, you need to go home.
Yeah.
She's swamped.
Yeah.
We are picking up so many listings.
Which is a great problem to have.
And I'm not stopping. I told them I'm not stopping. I'm not taking my foot off the pedal, girl. So I'm so sorry.
She's got binders all over. Those are all these listings that
She
are
got a
coming soon,
wall
just
of
went under
binders.
contract. It's crazy.
Anybody else?
Big thank you to our ALC for the mastermind last week. I appreciate you all putting in that time and energy.
That was amazing.
It was fun. Yeah,
It
it
was
was good.
really fun. And a thank you to the people that came out for Red Day for our event
Yes.
downtown. That was we had a lot of fun. It was just good to be out and about. All right.
I'd like to thank Susie Miller and then also Mary, who I just talked to today as well. Both of those agents are outstanding, awesome, and always willing to help me out. And of course, Lenny, I can't leave Lenny out. He always helps me with the rando questions that I have. So thanks. I want to shout out for all those agents. All 3 of them are awesome.
Thank you, Vanessa.
I guess I got it. Okay.
Anybody else? Going once, going twice. Okay. Next, we have, I'm so excited for this. So Karen was actually asked to share at her BNI group, and she chose the course that KW offers called the 6 Personal Perspectives to focus on. So what she's going to do over our next 16 meetings is take one personal perspective and give us sort of the Cliff Notes version in our team meeting. So we're calling this our 6 minutes, the 6 personal perspectives.
6 minutes, wow.
That's what you got. That's what you got.
So I really believe in this concept at a high level, and I'd be, if I put it out there that I want to teach it at some point in time, I'd love to do that, but I wanted to introduce it to you so you would understand why it's so important. Because if I just put out there, hey guys, let's take the 6 personal perspectives course, you're going to say like, why is that important? Well, there's a reason. So Gary Keller, who we all know and love, he actually, when he started the company, he researched how successful people be successful. What do they do to be successful. And when he's, if you're familiar with him at all, you know he's a researcher. He is an analyst. He dives into numbers at a high level. So what he found out from his research, that there are 6 perspectives that people have that are highly successful. And what are those? Well, before I go on with that, the interesting thing is this. When Gary Keller started the company, every single meeting that he had, he went over the 6 personal perspectives for at least 20 to 30 minutes each time. That's how important he saw this, which is why I think it's important to you. It got to the point where people would show up to his team meetings like 20 minutes later, because they always knew that the first part of the meeting was going to be the 6 personal perspectives. But if somebody like Gary believes in it, we all should believe in it, okay? And that's why I wanted to present it. So it's easy to recall and easy to remember. There's an acronym called STELLA, S-T-E-L-L-A. And there is an order. So this will be self-mastery is the S, the 80-20 principle, moving from E to P, being learning-based, removing limiting beliefs, and lastly, being accountable. So if you want to remember it, just think STELLA, because it does help you to remember the principle. So his first principle talks about self-mastery. And if you noticed, there's a self-mastery and there's a learning-based. It's different. I'm just going to cover self-mastery really quickly. So what are the jobs that a real estate agent is supposed to do? What are the 5 things that we're supposed to be doing? Right? Writing contracts. Sorry.
Lead gen.
Lead generate.
Follow up.
Negotiate.
Negotiate.
Set appointments.
Set appointments.
And that's it.
That's it?
No, there's one more.
Oh, script practice. Script practice.
Script practice. And why is that important? Because you're not supposed to practice on your clients. You're supposed to practice with each other. And that's what self-mastery is. Self-mastery is that you, in order to consider yourself a master, you have to have time on task of 10,000 hours to be a master, to be in self-mastery. So, but the thing that I really wanted to talk about in more detail is the 80-20 principle. And it's kind of fun because I presented this to businesses and they're like, well, they'll say, Karen, guess what? I worked my 20% today. I worked my 20% today. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's great. I'm glad you got the concept. This is so important. So we know the one thing, right? Has everyone read the 12-week year? Okay. The 12-week year basically is the one thing presented in another way. And what we know about the 80-20 principle is this. It's a concept that was developed by a gentleman in Italy called Pareto. What he found is that 20% of the landowners in Italy owned 80% of the wealth. Okay? And so economists have used this concept over and over and over again because they find that 20% of what you do will give you 80% of your results. That's huge, right? 20% of what you do, if you're focused and intentional, will give you 80% of your results. So what does the one thing talk about? The one thing, the 12-week year talks about, okay, getting your goal, recognizing what your one thing is that you need to do all the time to be your 20%. That's all it is. That's all it is. So what's our one thing? Everybody should know. What's our one thing here?
Lead generate.
Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
What happens is we love the other stuff. We love the whirlwind. We love doing the stuff like putting the listings in and that kind of stuff and doing the database and yada, yada, yada.
No, we don't.
Don't say database to her.
You know, we find excuses not to be in our 20% all the time, but the principle is, if you're in your 20%, you will have your 80% of results. This is why I wanted to talk to you guys.
It's so true, Karen.
Thank you. I love you. It's like
You're welcome.
a voice from above. If you hear anything at all, you want to have a successful business, get in your 20% and be there, and no excuses. That means that every single day you are calling somebody, following up with something that you are lead generating every day, no excuses. Oh, I gotta let the dog out. Oh, I gotta answer my phone. Oh, I gotta read emails. Stop that. So.
Pop-Tart.
Yeah. The Pop-Tart. That was me. I was the Pop-Tart. Oh, I get to get up this. I have an excuse not to be in my 20%. That's where the Pop-Tart thing came in. Yeah, so, I know that I have certain things that I have to do. And my goals, trust me, you don't have to have high numbers. So what my goal is for my results, what I want to do is I got to make 5 connections a day. Whoa, that's it. 5 connections a day to get to the numbers that I want to have by the end of the year. It's simple, just not easy. So stop letting the dog out. Stop. I will tell you one thing I do. This is my morning. This is what I do in the morning. I read my emails real quick, write my notes, and stop the emails. And then I lead generate. Get my 5 calls in. Now, you guys know what your numbers are. I used to do, like Ashley, lots and lots of business for myself. I've gone down. I don't want a big business. Dorothy understands this. I want to work with the people that I want to work with when I want to work with them, okay? So my numbers aren't huge. If you're starting out, 5 calls a day is absolutely doable. And it will get you to a business that will support the life you want to live and have a career that's worth living. So if there's anything, this is why I needed to talk to you first about this and skip through self-mastery, even though you should be script practicing. Figure out what that is. Go back, reverse engineer what your numbers are. For me, it's 5 a day, that's it. And then
Karen, can I add something?
Absolutely.
And I know you used to do this with your team in a big way, and we do this now, but it's the FU. It's in the follow-up.
Yeah.
Like, that is huge. I cannot tell you how much business I have picked up because other people have not followed up with clients or leads.
Yeah. You know, and that could be one of your calls that you want to make. You went to their house, maybe there's a listing appointment that you had and they haven't gotten back to you, they haven't gotten back to you, they haven't gotten back to you. So I also have a system where I'll make sure I send a thank you note, I'll make a phone call. There's all kinds of stuff in our world that teaches us how to do it and how many touches we need. But honestly, if you want to have a big business, I want you in your 20% every single day, whatever that is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, so I'm looking forward to our next team meeting where Karen will have another little presentation for us. So I hope these are helpful to you. I hope that you'll find value in getting sort of our snippet version of the 6 personal perspective. Hey, it's birthdays! Birthdays! Julia Taylor, Georgia Bart, Gail. Gail was here yesterday.
Oh,
We saw Gail yesterday. That was exciting. Mary Llewellyn, her birthday was May 7th. And Chuck is coming up on the 22nd and Ross is the 29th. So make sure if you haven't, show them some birthday love, please.
I like your dance. Very relevant.
I can't shimmy that fast. Hey, we have some new agents, in case you haven't heard. We have Jerry, who is here in our team meeting with us. Jerry Williams joined us. You are Maryland licensed. She is gonna get her West Virginia. Good girl. We have Ashley, who's I think on Zoom with us. She joined our office as well. Jared, I think, is on Zoom. He is coming to us from Charleston, West Virginia, 4 hours away. I had a nice chat with Jared last night, so Jared's been with us a month, if that. I'm pretty sure the numbers I heard him say was that he's about to have 3 listings. Killing it. Kristen Van Camp has joined us. She is just a little ray of sunshine if you have a chance to chat with her. And then we have Nate Van Peterson, who transferred from EXP over here. He is also Maryland. It's okay. All right, so welcome to our new agents. I should also mention, we have a young lady joining us, Miss Dana Williams. Just like Jerry, her last name is Williams. So
I'm thinking Williams works.
she has to come here. It just has to be.
Yeah.
She is taking classes. She is not yet licensed or affiliated with us, but I wanted her to just come and join us and get a feel for how we operate. We also have Rocio. Where is her picture? Okay, so her picture will be on next month's PowerPoint, but Rocio has joined on, and she is part of the Ashley and Miller team, and we are so excited to have her. Rocio comes with the experience to help if you have any Hispanic clients, you were fluent in Spanish, so that's a good, just a good thing to keep in mind if you need some help with that or want to, refer out. So welcome to all of our new agents. Deborah Adams, her picture is not on here, but she also joined us. She just did a move. Things are a little hectic and crazy for her right now. She is not quite plugged in all the way, but she gets settled in her new place and she will be here more often. So welcome to all of our new people. We are just super excited to have you. Hey, we got a Packer in the house. So Lori Gardenauer hit her cap. So she is now at 100% commission. She hit 100% in 100 days.
Lori, I am so proud of you, girl.
Yeah.
Love you.
Amazing job. Joanne Sembrook, who was one of our new agents that just joined from Remax. She's down in the West Virginia area. She just closed her first 3 transactions with us. She is killing it. If you friend her on Facebook, you're almost guaranteed some sort of funny farm video every day. She lives on like Old McDonald's farm, and there's just all different kinds of fun stuff that happens there. So go find her on Facebook. We are super excited to have her on our team. Shelly had her first closing. Shelly now.
She had one today too, or she had one this month too.
Oh.
Yay!
First two. Wow.
Yeah. We also did your culture ambassador announcement, and
I heard. Thank you.
kudos to
I was trying to beat his time of going back and forth to Hancock in 15 to 20 minutes. So
how'd you do?
I did pretty good.
No speeding tickets? No.
No, but if I did, I was going to blame it on I had a showing, and you know how the market is.
She was thinking. Like she was prepared. Shelly, we love you.
No sarcasm there, right?
Yeah. Hey, Sharon Richards is on Zoom, and Sharon just had her first listing and her first closing. Yay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good job.
Our top producing team with a whopping 1.6 million in
Nice.
volume is the Ashley M. Miller team, consisting of Jen, Tyrell, Ashley, and now Rocio and Kristen.
We did a very fun day of photos yesterday, so we will be
Can't wait.
completely.
I
Yes,
can't
it
wait.
was lots of goose poop, lots of
Woo!
goose poop.
That's okay, they can edit that.
Oh, trust me, we're gonna have to. So, yeah,
Congratulations.
very exciting.
Congratulations.
Good job.
We're very, very excited for you. Our top producing group, which consists of Priscilla,
Woo.
Krista, Mary, Lori, and Michelle Travis. We have 4.7 million in volume, 23 units, you guys.
Woo.
That is amazing. Great job, the Llewellyn group. Thank you. And that,
Ooh.
woo, woo, look at Susie Miller go. Top individual producer, 904,000. She did 5 units on her own, all while being our amazing OP. And a trip to the beach in there.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. There's a trip to the beach in there. So congrats, Susie.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Numbers, let's talk Market Center, Keller Williams Premier Realty. Here is our month over month. So how did we do this April compared to last April? What do we see?
Oh my God.
All positive.
Amazing.
There's not a single negative on any of those numbers.
Wow.
And I love these ones that have, 3 numbers before the decimal point. That's amazing. You guys are killing it with listings. Like, I know listings right now are hard to come by, but our office is, you guys are killing it. And year to date, so January to April of last year versus January to April of this year, not a single negative. In fact, everything, I mean, you're seeing, nothing below 40% and most of it above 50%. So I can't wait. I don't want to wish this year away by any means, but I cannot wait to see what the end of 2021 looks like, numbers wise for Keller Williams Premier. It's really, really exciting. And this is the region. So this would be the Maryland, DC region. And you can see again, some really good numbers showing up on our scorecard there. It's good to know kind of where we stand in comparison to the region. So we have just a couple MCA updates with Kate, Ernest, EMDs.
I'm gonna let you do EMD. All right, Ernest. So for all of our newbies, in case you don't know, all of our EMDs have to go through Ernest. It is an online money management company. They have an app that's really user-friendly for our agents to use. The caveat with that is it is a $15 transaction fee. Most of the clients will have no problem paying that, but again, if you want to cover that on behalf of your client, you're welcome to do that. I've had a lot of questions with Ernest, especially here recently. There's been a change in their platform, and I'll tell you why. So in our area, we have a lot of small banks. All right, so we do have like our PNC, all those bigger banks. We have a lot of small banks and a lot of credit unions. And the problem is with those, they don't have a super high level of security. They're very secure, but not for things like PayPal and Venmo and ACH direct deposit, all of that stuff. So Ernest before was not very prevalent in our area here. They weren't approved by a lot of our local banks. So the reason that we're having issues now is before they would let you put in your routing number and your account number, and it would just directly pull it from your account. Now it's making you actually log into your online banking, and then it does that for you. Clients are not very happy about putting in their online banking. But I do have a form that I'm going to send out to everybody that explains why we need that information and what it does, so that you can explain it to your customers. Everybody uses like Venmo, PayPal, what are the other cash apps?
Cash out.
Cash apps. Yeah, like all of those cash apps. So the backer behind all of those is a platform called Plaid, and they are the ones that actually do all of the money transactions behind the scenes. So Ernest is kind of just the face for that. That's who we'll go to have the money transferred. But know that Plaid is like a federally backed, it's very secure. Like I said, it's the same as, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all of that. So when they have you log into your bank, that's because they want you to utilize the security from your bank and the security from Plaid. So if you have them log into your bank account, it's the security on both levels. Whereas if you're just, typing in your routing information and your account number, it's not very secure on your end. So the reason they do that is so that you don't have to actually type in that account number and that routing number, because that does expose you to a little bit more of that cyber threat. So like I said, agents, you just kind of have to explain that to your clients. I do have a letter going out that has a bunch of recipient Q&As, basically, of what are we doing with your money, where is it going, how is it being handled, what's the security, and why are we asking for this information. So I'll go ahead and send that out to you guys, and I'll also post it on Facebook and our webpage. So if you'll just download that, especially if you're having issues with clients, stick it in your contract package, and just kind of provide that to them so they know what to do and know what to expect. Again, remember, no paper EMDs. I am not taking checks at all for earnest money, okay? So if they want to write a check, you can have the other agent hold it, the title company or the attorney hold it. I will not accept paper checks. And again, that's because it's a very, very risky situation as far as security goes. We cleaned out an agent folder and they left, I want to say, months ago. We found a $2,000 EMD in there, just a check. And no property address, no nothing. Now, luckily, the contract had been terminated, so it was, not applicable or whatever. But yeah, it was just sitting on a folder. Nobody knew about it. Nobody had information. So that's kind of the reason why we went to electronic, so that I know when it comes in, you know when it comes in, everybody has the information, and it's good. And again, with that, so with Earnest, it is electronically deposited into my account, but I cannot electronically deposit it back to them because I don't get any of their information. So, they'll say, well, just put it back in my account if the contract gets terminated. I can't do that because I'm not getting their information. That's part of that security. So checks will still be issued back for terminations and releases. Just let me know and I'll get that out for you guys.
Can I add?
Of course.
I use them all the time. Not one client's complained about the $15 because they're used to paying that when they pay for something online anyway, so they don't even question it. And you get a receipt right away from Earnest telling you of their intent, which is great to provide to the attorney and the other agent that we have it. So it's
Awesome,
very
thank you.
convenient.
We use it all the time. You're right, and I don't even bring up the $15. Like,
I don't even mention it.
I've had somebody respond to me just this week. Hey, did you know there's a $15 fee? And I was like, oh yeah, it's just like a wire transfer. There's a fee attached to it. This $15 does sound correct. But I have had some clients that are like, no, I'm not paying the 15, or they didn't feel comfortable with that. I'm like, no problem. We just fill out some forms and we'll write it out to the title company.
Yes.
So.
And again, one other thing with that, I don't want an EMD until there's a ratified contract.
Right.
Because I've got like 5 EMDs that have no contracts attached.
Oh, no.
Because they're having their clients send the EMD before the contract's getting ratified, and it's just a cluster. So please have a ratified contract. I will not accept it. I will send it back. I will cash it out. I don't want it. All right, because it's a huge liability for us. So please send it to me after the contract's ratified and everything has been uploaded. Okay, that's all. Oh, one last thing. It doesn't have to do with Earnest or EMDs, but we're switching banks. Okay. So we're switching to a 24-hour ACH instead of a 48-hour ACH. We are also switching to, what do I want to say, like automatic deductions each month. So instead of running your credit card, we'll have an option of just flat out taking it from your bank account. We'll have more information about enrolling in that. Again, you can stay into the credit card processing if you want. It's just an easier and cheaper way for us to be able to pull that funds. So bear with me a little bit over the next couple of weeks while I transition to this whole bank account thing. It's a little tricky, and we have to update everything, like the Earnest account, all of that. So just bear with me. If you have questions or you run into issues, just let me know. Give me a call, and I'll work it out.
Do you have an end date, Kate, of when you think it'll be all done?
I thought it would be a while ago.
I love your
I'll say by the end of May.
Okay.
The end of May will be good.
And as a reminder, that no DAs.
Right. Oh yes, no DAs. If you guys were not at our class, 2 weeks ago now, I think, the state of Maryland has put a kibosh on all disbursement authorizations. So you are not able to be paid at the table any longer. Because of that, I am upping my credit card, or not my credit, my commission processing to 3 times a week, probably Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. But you'll see updates for that.
And to have the 24-hour turnaround versus the 48 was another
Yes.
Incentive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for us to get the bank switched over.
Questions? Comments, concerns, nothing?
Awesome, you don't mess with people's money.
Yeah.
Broker minute.
Yay, money.
Here comes money.
I wait.
This is gonna take more than a minute.
Well, I'll give you 2.
Take more than that. So, everybody should have an escrow agreement in front of them.
Yeah.
If you don't, I'll give you one.
Shelley?
Shelley,
Anybody else?
Ashley.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're gonna discuss earnest money deposits. So I got a couple questions for you. If a buyer gives you an earnest money deposit check and the check bounces, who's responsible for that?
The buyer.
Everybody said the buyer, right? Wrong, you are.
No.
Really?
Yes. Because you are responsible for the earnest money deposit from the time that they hand you that earnest money deposit. That's why we're no longer accepting checks and it has to go through earnest.
So
Yeah,
if
the
I
earnest-
write a check at Martin's, they're responsible for my bad.
I'm just going.
I mean, that sounds crazy to me.
Here, I'm just going through some questions on some scenarios that
Right.
have come up recently.
You haven't
And,
seen too many personal checks lately.
No.
It's all with certified funds.
and that's good.
Yeah.
I've got in my hand 5 cases that went before the real estate commission of buyer's agents that were fined and suspended for checks for non-sufficient funds from the buyer because they mishandled the funds.
How did they mishandle it if the buyer didn't have the money in there? That's not their fault. I don't see how that can be the agent's problem.
I don't rule, the real estate commission is,
There has to be
the
another
real
rule.
estate commission rules on it, and this is what they're saying.
So I can,
Okay.
Well, I think if you put the examples into context, I think it'll help.
Yeah, let me get there. So, one of the other questions is, if an earnest money deposit is not deposited in accordance to the contract, who's responsible?
The agent.
The agent.
Yeah.
When is the earnest money deposit due?
whatever the date is on your contract.
After ratification, that many days.
So Maryland says you have 7 days from the date of ratification. The office says you got 48 hours. Okay? Pennsylvania, it's 5 days. West Virginia is also 5 days. Office requires 48 hours. Okay? So the scenario with the non-sufficient funds is, it breaks down like this. So buyer and seller agree to go under contract. There's an earnest money deposit that was due within a certain period of time of the contract being ratified. Check was never received. Who's liable for that?
The agent.
All the agents.
And then the office.
The agent.
And then the broker.
And the
We're
broker.
responsible for everything.
Okay, so if you don't receive an earnest money deposit when the contract states that you're supposed to ratify, what do you need to do?
An addendum,
An addendum that says what?
to extend out the amount of time needed.
You need to notify your seller first off that it's not been received, and they determine what happened.
That's a good point.
Because they can nullify the contract at that point.
That's right.
It can be declared void,
In default.
and the buyer would be in default. Who gets the deposit?
The seller.
Seller does, because the buyer's in default.
They get the deposit that when you get a
They
wasn't
get,
received.
they get the deposit that was not received. Okay?
Yeah, they may not point
Now,
out that
interesting.
they wrote a bad
This-
check,
this
so
is-
then we have to.
So I
This
think-
is gonna be the other interesting part. So when the check does show up and it bounces,
Oh, boy.
the agent's now really involved.
Oh, boy.
And in these cases, the lowest fine was $1,000. It all depended on the amount of the deposit. Okay, so the seller is still entitled to that money. If the check bounced and you can't get the money from the seller, it's gonna come from the agent through the way of the guarantee fund. Somebody files a complaint, it goes to the guarantee fund to be reimbursed. Guess who gets to pay the guarantee fund back?
The agent.
Guess what? Your license is also suspended for a minimum of 30 days.
Until the guarantee fund has been paid.
No,
No.
it's regardless, 30 days.
Regardless.
Every single one of these, 30-day suspension. And the 5 that I printed off, I stopped because there's 75.
Oh, my Lord.
There's 75 records on each page, and there's 7 pages of records of non-sufficient funds and earnest money deposit.
That's why I was hightailing it back and forth to Hancock.
So.
Is that 48 hours?
So basically.
But wait a minute, my question would be, we shouldn't have earnest money deposit checks.
That's correct. We should not.
With
Unless they
earnest
give
going
you
to
a
title.
Well, I haven't gotten there yet.
It's
I haven't gotten there yet.
Made to the title company, but you take it to the title company, who's responsible then?
Well, in the situation that I'm talking about, it just so happened that a very large deposit was placed into escrow at a title company. And the agents were responsible. Because the agents.
Bank account, you got money in your account, you sure you can write a check?
I do that all the time.
So the agents were responsible, and because that money has to be paid out. So if the contract is declared null and void, the seller is still entitled to that money. If the funds are not there, then the seller is entitled to use the guarantee fund. When you use the guarantee fund, the real estate commission does an investigation to determine who would be at fault. Who would be at fault if the buyer bounces the check? It's actually going to be the buyer's agent. In the meantime, if the check wasn't deposited in accordance to the contract, who is responsible for that?
Both agents.
Exactly.
What was that? Both agents?
Both agents, because you both mishandled the earnest money deposit.
So we would be very thankful to have Ernest.
Ernest is going to be a very large bonus for us because
Game
it
changer.
automatically
Yes.
is deducted from their account.
Well,
If-
but on the listing side though, you know, the other agent's likely not using Earnest, you can offer it. But you as the listing agent need to follow up and make sure that earnest money deposit is deposited.
That is correct.
That is your job and your
Your-
responsibility.
Your responsibility is to make sure that it gets deposited when contract says so.
Well, that's one of the things for to submit an offer to you for review, you have to show the EMD check being deposited, correct?
We require that you show us the EMD check,
Not the deposit.
not the deposit,
Okay,
okay?
but it's a reminder to make sure that it's happened.
And most of the time, a lot of this isn't going to happen, but we've got to, especially for as hot as the market is, we've got to start being a little bit more careful. If they do not want to use Earnest, the other option is they can hold it at the other agency. It has to be in the contract, so if you already had it in your contract to be held by us through ACH, now that has to be changed. If they don't want to hold it at the other company and they want to hold it at a title company, Maryland has an escrow agreement. That must be completed and signed by the escrow agent. They also have to let you know when it was done. Now, if there is insufficient funds and the check bounces, when are you to be notified?
Immediately. You would just.
Immediately, but in writing, in writing within 5 days. Of the
5
time-
days?
Well, it takes 5 days for the mail to get.
So.
So in writing, within 5 days.
So are people here using Pennsylvania was holding a title, there's no form for it?
There's no form for it in Pennsylvania, but it states in the contract that it can be held at a title company.
Yeah,
Okay?
you can, but is it still under the same rules and obligations that our office has? You know, that was one of the reasons why this.
Maryland came up with this because title
Yes.
companies do not have the same rules
Yes,
as brokerages do.
for release of funds, for example.
So, well, the title company, believe it or not, if you don't have the escrow agreement in Maryland, or if it's in Pennsylvania or West Virginia, they can dispose of the deposits any way they want.
Most of them have like an in-house policy. If you ask
Most
them,
do.
yeah, they require them to be agreed upon by both parties in writing as to, so pretty much the same as what we require.
I've seen that where
Yeah.
somebody asked.
Pennsylvania does, and
Yeah.
it states it in the contract, that even if it's being held by a title company, it also has to be a mutual release.
Yeah,
And
like Old Town
I
Title
have
does the
gotten
same.
calls from title companies verifying if the release is released properly on our end. So that will happen.
Liability wise, I think that like they had to put that protocol in place, from what I understand.
So. Let me see here, signed by the escrow agent. So just to give you an example of some of these. So this first one. The buyer's agent, on behalf of the buyer, submitted the earnest money deposit 31 days late. The contract was supposed to close in like an additional 2 days. The buyer expressed buyer's remorse.
Oh, no.
The check also bounced.
Oh, that's delightful.
So the agent, and this was one of the cheap ones, the agent only paid $1,000 because they believed that she did not know the check was not received, because it was being held by a title company. The title company did not notify us. So if West Virginia and Pennsylvania don't have the documentation, you're gonna be picking up the phone and making the call, and you need to know when that deposit was made and if it cleared. Because you are to notify the seller and the buyer immediately, and then in writing within 5 days. If it bounced. If it does bounce, then you need to let the buyer know that if the seller wants to, they can declare the contract null and void. By the way, you still have to present this. You gotta make this right because they're entitled to it.
Thanks, sorry guys to interrupt, but thank you for having me.
The other one, another really good, and that happened to be a television agent, that one happened.
Let me ask you,
Not ours.
I have a form that I use, if they do give me a check to the title company, I take a copy of the check on a form and have them sign for it to prove that I delivered it to the title company.
That would be a really good idea.
I know, but it still doesn't cover me if the title company doesn't deposit it, right?
Correct.
We do have an EMD receipt that I can provide to you guys. We won't accept it because we're not taking paper checks, but you're welcome to use it if you're dropping checks off at other companies.
I use that. I send it over to the title company if I know an EMD is gonna be delivered. And I send it over and I say, hey, here's a receipt. Can you please fill this out and send me a copy of the check as soon as it's received?
Now, is that in the do not use interactive forms?
I don't
There
know,
is
but
one
what-
in there that's the old like the old logo is in the do not use one.
I have not used it recently, but I'll put it on our new webpage so that it's up there, so that it's templated up there. Then you can just download it and keep it on your computer.
And they're always really good if you ask them. They'll send us where it's deposited. They'll show you the deposit receipt, everything.
So earnest money deposits are a very, very
Yes.
serious matter. We may take them kind of lackadaisical sometimes. But in all these instances, the agent got the severe penalties This one was suspended for 30 days.
What happens to the buyer? So like the buyers in the
Well, the
situation.
buyer, and here's the thing with the buyer, he knowingly, and at least in Maryland, and almost the other surrounding states as well, if he knowingly, and in this situation that came up, the buyer did knowingly present a bad check. Okay? In Maryland, it's a felony for anything over $500 if you're trying to acquire property with that money.
Well, anything over like $500, nobody's been taking personal anyway. Like, I don't think I've touched a personal check in like 3.5 years.
That's not entirely correct.
Yeah.
We get lots of personal.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, like,
So-
they don't have any slot touch.
No, they won't take
Yeah.
them, right?
But
Well, again,
Again,
That's
shouldn't take
interesting.
the
Actually,
situation,
did you hear what she
the
said?
situation that I brought up, the
That's really
title
good.
company,
I won't.
See, that's interesting that she said that.
the
because I-
title company
Yeah.
accepted a personal check
Yes.
for
Yep.
$10,000.
God speaks.
Well, that's a shitty title company then.
Now, in this situation, it was, and depending on what the seller wants to do after the property closes, he could still go to the real estate commission and want that $10,000, okay? So, the issue then becomes, when did you know that the check bounced? Because the check actually bounced twice.
Twice, yeah.
Wow.
The title company did not notify, or the buyer's agent did not notify the listing agent the first time. And then the second time, it was a day after the fact. So the buyer's agent in this situation,
Could get some hefty fines. And
well,
30 days
the
suspension.
guarantee fund is gonna, and that's, in this situation, with a $10,000 deposit, the guarantee fund would pay the $10,000 deposit, which that agent would have to repay. There would be a 30-day suspension. And then chances are, because of the number of occurrences that happened, probably get the maximum fine of $5,000
On top of the 10,000.
on top of the 10,000,
So you're looking at 15,000.
plus 30-day suspension. So when you're dealing with an earnest money deposit, your follow-up just became
Use Earnest?
critical.
Ernest, guys, I'm telling you.
Earnest, your follow-up is instant.
There's a lot.
Is that what you're recommending, Lenny? Is just using Earnest
That's
then?
the only thing we use, Earnest.
And I will
We're not
say,
we're not taking personal check, cashier checks or anything.
Ernest will
Ernest.
also allow you to add in the additional emails, so you can send it to the title company, you can send it to the office, you can send it to yourself, you can send it to the buyer,
You
the
can send it to
buyer's
the vendor.
agent, so you can send it to everybody.
Everybody's
Send it to
And it's like done at one stop shop.
It's very,
So,
very
in the
quick.
state of Pennsylvania, it's defaulted that the listing agent gets the earnest money
Correct.
deposit. So
Yeah.
if that's the case and you didn't adjust that, then you need to send them a link to the earnest, and you as the agent can add the buyer's agent, and then the buyer's agent can add the buyer.
Yes.
Either that, or when you, as you ratify the contract, you change the, who's holding it too.
I had to do that because the agents they're being a little pissy about it.
Yeah.
About using our.
Yeah,
They
they're
are.
not big.
They are not,
Well,
they're not big
but-
on it.
If they were educated,
That's right.
the way that,
Oh, you try that.
the way that our agents,
Yeah.
the way our agents are educated, because our broker does his due
I
diligence.
love Lenny. Love you, Lenny.
If they were educated, they would not
Hey,
But they're not
complain,
educated.
but they're
Here's the
not.
Yeah, and good luck with it.
Here's
That's like
the-
Sesame Street.
here,
Can I say
I'm the
something?
first- I'm
Can
the
I say
first one to say
something,
this, that
Lenny?
until this situation arose, and I started digging into it more, I didn't realize that,
Exactly.
it was going to be that they could file through the guarantee fund.
Exactly.
Once the situation arose, I thought, okay, let's find out what's gonna happen, let's see how we deal with this.
Well, the other thing I would add that I always tell people when I go through and I explain about the earnest money and how it's held and everything, I say the first thing the real estate commission will do, they'll walk in the office and the first thing they're gonna go to is the escrow account.
Mhm.
They will always check that first, and I've seen it. I've seen the
Every
real
single
estate
time.
commission
Really
walk
honest.
into an office and do that.
Every single time.
So it's critical.
Now, like,
So Lenny,
Yeah,
if they don't want to do the earnest, you know what I mean, the other companies that we try to educate them and, you know, I mean, use that as a teaching moment and maybe you can even recruit that agent, you know? I mean, because Lenny is very good at teaching us and training us this stuff to cover our butt.
and here's the
Because
other,
until
how
this
many
situation happens,
agents before today knew that because your buyer bounced a check for
exactly,
Not know that.
EMD, that you were responsible for that check?
exactly, Lenny. Yep. No, exactly. So yeah, I mean, until it happens to you, we don't think anything of it. But once it happens to you, oh boy, you start getting nervous.
I don't know about all states, but I checked for Maryland, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, and it's the same. Wow. Because
So I wouldn't want anything other than a certified check.
Fun
Or
fact
Earnest.
with that, Earnest is big like all over the US now, especially in the last year with COVID. The Maryland Real Estate Commission, I believe, is actually backing
They're
Earnest
backing
at this
Earnest.
point. So they're recommending it because again, they want those personal checks out of circulation. They
Yes.
want that liability off.
So they don't have
is there a
20, 30
demo that
people
they have
having issues.
out that possibly
Absolutely, I
that you
can
could
send that to
find
you.
that when we are on the listing side,
Yeah.
we can send it to them? It's
Yeah.
because the one thing that I've been getting that they have been really nasty about is they're like, we don't want you sending anything to our clients that makes them put in their information because then they think that we're able to capture them.
Right,
before
and so I
them.
have
Like,
a whole sheet that's from Earnest and it says like, why do you want my information? And it talks about the double security, you know, why do you want, you know,
that we don't get, they
I
don't
We don't
understand
get
any
that.
I get their
Yeah.
name
Yeah.
and their money and that's it, because
Yeah.
in my
It's
account, it
Earnest.
comes from Earnest with a tracking number, and that's how I line it up. I don't get any of the information, so if you put the wrong name, in Earnest when you're doing it, that's what I get. All right, so I
Guys,
don't
I
get
just-
any information.
I just want to say, because we are over our time, I want to be respectful of everybody's schedule. I realize it's 1:03 and we end at 1. If you need to leave, please go. This is being recorded. It will be put up on the agent website that you guys will all have access. But I don't want anyone to feel like they're stuck in this meeting. If you gotta go, you got obligations. Go do what you need and then just finish up watching.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, I've got 3 more hours of driving, so I could stay on here all day.
I was gonna ask, like, there are so many more companies joining because from the time you guys launched Earnest, like we were like, and you type in the Keller Williams, there was only like 1 or 2, and now it's like I gotta make sure I'm picking the freaking right one because I'm like, oh my
That's because we're
god.
cutting edge, Krista.
Well, yeah, we were
We are
like,
setting the
we were
trend.
one of 4 PWs that started using Earnest in March of last year. And then
Yeah.
I get emails all the time from other market centers saying, is it working, is it not working, do your agents love it, do they hate it, why does it, you know? So it's becoming very prevalent, and there's other companies too, like Earnestly, so you as an agent may be asked to use that on the flip side. If that's the case, do your due diligence, you know, don't be that agent who just puts their foot down and says no. Look into it, do your research, educate your clients, just make it easier for everybody.
And then on top of these people getting their fines and their suspensions, their broker was also fined, and one of them suspended because he wasn't, they said that a broker was not supervising the agents accurately.
Because you're responsible for every single person in here.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So if my client needs a bad check, it's my responsibility, it's yours.
Yep.
Hey, what happens if we deposit an EMD and the contract falls through?
If the earnest money deposit is deposited and the contract falls through, it has to be mutually agreed upon to its release. If it's not mutually agreed upon, it does not get released. Doesn't matter which state, that's all states.
And then you go to court.
And then, well, everybody, and here's the nice thing, in all the contracts, Maryland, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, I'm not sure about Virginia, But Maryland, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, you all agreed that if there's a dispute, you're gonna go to mediation. It costs $700 for mediation, so it's $500 deposit.
And the agent's responsible for that.
Oh, is it the buyer?
Whoever brings it to mediation
Yes.
is gonna pay the $700. Now, if it's found that it was actually supposed to be released to the buyer, back to the buyer, then, the buyer's gonna get his $500 from the seller, and the seller will pay the $700 for the mediation. And then the seller's also gonna pay our attorney's fee.
What happens if a contract gets terminated and they put a contract on something else right away? What do you need to switch that EMD?
In order to switch an EMD from, first you need the mutual release. And then you're gonna need an addendum directing the earnest money deposit to be released to the new contract of sale.
And a really kind email to your MCA letting her know that it's transferred. Because if not, you're gonna be like, well, you have the EMD, and I'll be like, I don't have an
So
EMD.
did everybody hear that one?
Please, if something gets released or reassigned or EMD changes, please tell me. Because if not, I'm looking for an EMD that doesn't exist.
In an email.
In an email.
In an email.
Yeah, don't tell me word of mouth, because I'll forget. Email me, hey, this contract fell through, EMD's being moved to this contract. I'll just update my records so that we have a correct property address reflected on that EMD.
There has to be an
I do
addendum.
addendum. Yep,
There has to be an addendum for every move of that EMD.
with full signatures, right?
So,
Well, and so if we have that addendum and it's getting released from this contract, who's signing
I was
that
just gonna
addendum?
ask that.
So it would be,
well,
no,
when
the
you're
sellers and the buyer.
releasing from a contract, your deposit is always mutual release.
so that would be mutual, so that's
Okay.
handles this one.
So that's buyer and seller.
Okay, but what about the other side?
Now, on the new one, if you're gonna transfer the deposit from that one, on your addendum, it's going to state that you are transferring the deposit from the discharge contract
With the address
with the address
in it?
Yeah, I do.
to the new address. And then
And
buyer and seller sign it.
Seller sign?
so the seller's
Seller
not
has-
gonna know that. he
Seller
has
has
the
to
property.
know that we already have that money
Gotcha.
and it's being transferred from that failed contract to their contract.
Yeah, because your deposit date is like maybe a month or two before.
Yep.
And so if you run into an issue with that, it's not uncommon for agents to come back and say, hey, this EMD was done 7 months ago, can you just verify that you still have it? I'll write up a quick letter on letterhead, send it over to you or the title company or the agent or whatever needed, just confirming that we have it and it's applicable and we're good to go.
Does everybody now know everything that they need to know about EMDs?
Probably not.
Sounds to me like we could have lots of discussions and classes and trainings around this topic. Yeah.
But I felt that it was more important to get this
Yes.
taken care of as quickly as possible. So earnest money deposits are a very serious issue. You are ultimately responsible, and so am I. I don't like paying fines.
So you better do your job. 30 days suspension.
And if I have to pay a fine because
You can bet your bottom dollar you're paying a sign.
if I have to pay a fine because you didn't do something correctly, I might have to have a discussion with others about where your license needs to go.
Help you self-discover.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just make sure you're aware.
Questions?
Oh, thanks, Lynn.
Are we gonna
That's
beat
really
the
good.
sports to death anymore? I think we got it.
Terrified.
Yeah, now that poor Dana's not even gonna get a license. She's like, I want no parts of this.
Bank statement and first 4 kids. I'm like,
All right, so last week we participated in Red Day. We actually had sort of two separate things going on, of course, if you've been with us in the last month or two. team meetings and such. You saw our buddy project. Yeah, buddy project. And where we are gathering old pieces of technology, computers, phones, all the good stuff, and it is being recycled and put to great use. So that's sort of an ongoing Red Day activity. And then last Friday evening, we went down about 3 o'clock and set up across the street from the Barbara Ingram School. The street was blocked off if you were trying to get through Hagerstown last Friday evening. Sorry about your luck. It was pretty busy. But they had, I don't know, but I anticipate what they thought was a really good turnout. They seem to have lots of participation. The Barbara Ingram students, if you see yellow shirts, that's them. They were doing face painting, they did ukulele performances, band performances, they had painted prints that they were selling. They were actively painting while we were down there. We were handing out poetry on demand. They had poetry on demand. It was really fun. And we were there supporting them and handing out bottled waters and snacks. Kid-friendly snacks, adult-friendly snacks. And people kept trying to give us money. They just, how much are they? No, they're free, but how much are they? And we're like, no, but they're free. Go ahead.
I want some.
It was just nuts.
It was cashews.
Oh,
I mean, cashews. That's next level, right? So all that to say.
Jello shooters.
I mean, what am I doing?
We've lost them.
Someone said brownies, I don't know. So Red Day, I think it was my first real out and about Red Day as a team leader, so it was cool for me to just see everybody come together, and I think it was a great event. If you heard about a flash mob, we were given the kibosh on that from the Barbara Ingram School, which was a big for us. So the flash mob didn't happen here. However, there's nothing saying we can't take our flash mob right out in the middle of the mall and do that. So I'm telling you, flash mob is going to happen at some point during my time at KW.
And what are we doing for the flash mob?
Dancing. Singing and dancing. Flash mob. That is not in culture. Not in culture.
Typically organized.
Yes. So we thought that would be really fun to do downtown at the.
They wouldn't let you?
Yeah, but did you have an organized dance?
This was their
We
first
would
event.
have if they would have let us.
Yeah, so no, this was their, so just to recap this, the Barbara Ingram School, they usually do this throughout the year. So they have their concerts, their plays, all of their events. They haven't done any of it because of COVID. So this was their outside spring performance. So everybody got to perform. And because of that, this was the first one. They weren't as prepared as they maybe would have been had it been established for years. So we totally get why, but we're hoping next year we can jump in there and perform as well.
It's on my bucket list.
You
Like,
really
it's
want to
happening.
see, you want to see me dance?
I want to see all of us dance together. I think it would be awesome.
Maybe what we should do is like get dance and practice, so
Well,
that
we
we're
have-
like all
I already
4
had
hours.
a dance.
We have it already.
You guys are gonna have to provide alcohol before that happens.
That can be arranged. All right. America's best employers for diversity. Guess who's on the Forbes list? America's best employers for diversity.
Oh,
We are. Guess who's on the LinkedIn top companies to work for in the United States?
Yeah.
We are.
Because we give out adult snacks.
Listen,
That's why I joined the.
Listen, I'm gonna.
Oh, that's right, that's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys, I am getting blasted with emails about Keller Mortgage, and I am making it a priority that Keller Mortgage is going to become something we are going to focus very heavily on, because if you're not utilizing this, you are missing out.
I'm closing several with them.
Yes.
Like last
Missing
year and now they're
out.
awesome.
It's seamless.
It's
It
super
is.
easy from the,
Yeah.
I got a loan through them, and it's super easy on the buyer's end as well. They're very user friendly, they're very nice.
They
super
communicate
easy.
well.
Yep.
Yep.
If you're concerned you just don't know enough about it, or you wanna learn more about it, sit tight, because
Give
we're
it to
working
your
on it.
family members to refi. I refinanced, my brother refinanced, everything was so
Yeah.
smooth.
Keller
And I don't know
Mortgage.
what they
I will
find their
I would
appraisers.
recommend it.
I will
They
say
come out
this, with
Oh,
Keller
wow.
Mortgage, for those that are using it going VA. Okay, everybody knows VA has different criteria for doing loans. Keller Mortgage upfront is going to do everything that VA requires them to do upfront right now before, so that way they're approved moving forward. The person might think it's a pain in the ass because they gotta upload all this stuff.
But see, they go to underwriting before.
Yep, and the other thing is, if you really want to get an offer in, their pre-approval letter is incredible.
It is incredible.
It's
Yes.
incredible, because they said, we've done this, we've done that,
Yes.
we've done this, we've done that. It's not, oh, maybe we're gonna pull
Right.
numbers. It's
Or it's
incredible.
contingent on the, these things
Yeah.
that they haven't provided yet. No,
Well,
they do underwriting.
What I was gonna say is lenders in this area, to defeat the Keller Mortgage, they're gonna go ahead and give the guy, or the girl, the veteran, a letter. They're still gonna require the exact same documentation because they're VA requirements. But now they're already gonna be under contract.
Yeah.
Whereas this is before they're under contract, so it'll be done.
Okay, so there's much more education that we're gonna, be focusing on with this, because I think it's just, yeah, we would be doing you a disservice if we didn't make sure that all of our agents, use this. Hey, jumping to Command, there is so much good content right now in there. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time talking about this. Outfront Magazine, go to Outfront Magazine. New smart plans are in here to help you optimize your follow-up, and lots of good content out there right now. Of course, most of the stuff is focused on listings, helping you get listings. And then, of course, creative solutions to help you win your offers.
Where do we go to get the sale?
Yeah,
Red Label.
Red Label.
Yep.
Red Label,
Redlabel.com
Red
or
Label,
something?
yeah,
Yeah.
just search Red
Type in
Label.
KW Red Label and it'll come right up.
Yeah,
Okay.
they have some cool sales going on. Thursday, May 20th, tomorrow is our regional Zoom. So agents from our entire region will be plugging into Zoom. And I can't say enough good things about this gentleman right here, Aaron Kaufman. He is the presenter for the KW Effect. His entire focus is on all of the agents becoming KW stakeholders and growing their profit share tree exponentially. He came and spoke via Zoom to our agents when COVID first hit. He has a great Facebook group that if you're not a member of, you should be. I often repost his stuff in our Facebook group. So you'll see things from Aaron Kaufman. Jump on tomorrow. You want to hear what he has to say.
And how do we jump on?
He's phenomenal. If you go to the training calendar, the link will be right there.
What time is this?
Michelle, I think he's 3:30 to 5 tomorrow.
Okay.
So that is the difference, probably from before, that, our leadership, our regional leadership team, of course, the leadership in this office is required to attend a leadership meeting. But in addition to that, now there's always been that, well, what about our agents? Why can't our agents get into that leadership piece as well? So the opportunity exists once a month for you to participate and Zoom into the leadership call, which that's what this is. So every month around the 20th or so, you can kind of expect to save the date and jump into that meeting.
And it's really good stuff.
It is.
It is.
It's very good.
And actually, any agent could go, but it would be like, okay, you gotta drive an hour, 2
Yes.
hours,
Right.
and you gotta drive an hour, 2 hours back. And
Right.
now with them zooming it, it's valuable to
Yeah.
listen to.
For sure. We
Definitely.
also have Bold coming up. Bold is going to be running specifically for dual career agents. all of your sessions will run on a Saturday. So here are the 6 dates, and it runs 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you still have your day. I mean, really.
Is it Zoom?
It is, yeah, you still have your day. So the first step actually starts this Saturday. And again, this is all on our training calendar, all your links you need. And then the full thing launches on June 5th. So I think we have one agent that has signed up so far from our market center.
You want to jumpstart your business, take hold.
Yeah.
So May 25th is actually on a Tuesday.
Is it?
It's
Okay.
the jump start.
Okay.
Yeah, the
It's
25th
your
is just the jump start.
First step.
Mhm.
Quantum Leap, another phenomenal training program
so good.
through KW.
Dick Dillingham.
He is one of the best instructors that you'll find. That's coming up June 8th to 9th from 1 to 5 Eastern Standard on both of those dates. This is going to be a joint venture between our region as well as the Northern California, Hawaii region, which of course some of our regional leadership plays in both of those areas. So this is a great, there are so many good learning opportunities coming up in the next month and a half. It's just phenomenal.
He's amazing. Dick is really amazing. Used to be a CRS instructor, and if you get to take a class, make sure you type in "So Dick, are you funny?" because it's kind of it's a running joke. Yeah.
So save the date. Save the date. Guess where I was this morning?
That's so awesome.
I was at our Greencastle office getting internet hooked up.
That's
Yay!
So it's official. It's official.
We still do not have our final inspection from the state because there was a slip up, a typo on it.
Of course there was.
But we are anticipating, and I met with the Greencastle Chamber this morning, we are anticipating hosting a big week-long celebration, sort of a grand opening week, and it's gonna be June 14th through the 18th. We have tons of fun stuff planned to try to get, agents from our area, agents from that area specifically, plugged into a Keller Williams office. So we are excited about this. This is awesome.
If you guys have vendors you'd like to see there, let us know, okay? We're looking for vendors, people to affiliate with, so if you have anybody who's really great in that area, just let us know and we'll reach out.
As far as what do you need for that?
Just vendors, we just wanna
If
make
anyone
it,
wants
we
to
wanna
come
make
and
it,
set up and-
valuable to the agents, so.
So
Give them an idea.
So
Yes.
that Monday is gonna be Mugshot Monday. Stephen with Integrity is coming. He's gonna be doing free headshots for any agent that wants to come in and get it.
Any agent in Franklin.
Any agent, not KW.
Not just KW, but
Any
any
agent.
agent.
Oh, that's smart.
So what an
Smart.
opportunity
Right?
to do some recruiting.
Yeah, and then Adrian will be there fishing.
Right?
We all should be.
Right? This is why KW is here.
And I expect all of you guys to get new headshots also.
Right.
And then we're gonna have drawings that coincide with each of the day's events. So Stephen has graciously agreed to do like a promo tag video. Nothing like Ashley's, but same concept,
Yeah.
same idea, that we'll be raffling off for any agent who came that day and got their headshot. Tuesday's gonna be Technology Tuesday. Wednesday's gonna be Wealth Building. I'm hoping that Quintez maybe can come join us for Wealth Building Wednesday and do give us some valuable nuggets on building wealth. And Thursday, Friday is Ribbon Cutting Friday, and there's gonna be a food truck at some point, we're hoping. And we're really trying to engage the community, our fellow brokers or our fellow agents at other brokerages.
Thursday.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we thought,
Those snacks.
we thought about that.
Yeah.
Then we thought, let's alcohol.
Yeah, we got
There's lots of ideas.
We got it, but it is going to be hopefully of value, and we
So
love
are you
it, and we
looking
love
for
to see you
I
guys.
know,
13 through the.
like Premier HVAC is just down the road. Do you want those kind of vendors to come and what would you like?
Can I get back to you with that?
Yes, because there's probably people in
You
here.
said it was what, Wealthy Wednesday?
Wealth Building Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday.
Oh, you did, you sent him the date, okay, good. I
So
was gonna
we
say,
are,
locked it
so all
all.
of these events will be every day that week, the 14th through the 18th, and it'll be
I
from
just
11 to
resent
2.
Yeah.
11 to 2, every day that week, there'll be something going on. So as you're out talking to agents from other brokerages, tell them, just stop by. They don't have to, register. Just come by, hang out with us, see what we have going on, get a photo, learn about technology, specifically KW technology. But we're gonna have a drawing for, maybe an iPad that day or something. So we're just,
And it is light, like from the recruiting perspective, I'm being a little facetious, not little. But ultimately it is meant to be fun. It's for us to be ingrained in the community, to make our presence known, but to be non-pressure. So we're not gonna be putting our hooks in them.
But we're the cult.
Drink the Kool-Aid, Ashley.
Kool-Aid.
Just drink the Kool-Aid.
Just make sure it's not that purple drink.
Actually, I've known that offices have done intentionally Kool-Aid parties where they.
I love that.
Yes, they've done it intentionally.
Thursday. You're right.
Thursday.
On Thursday.
All right, Zoom folks, thank you for joining us. Thank you all for, our number dwindled to 5. Thank you for spending, I'm so sorry we ran so long. I'm gonna blame Lenny and EMDs.
But it was
and-
Hey, I said I was gonna need a lot of time.
It was good. So if anybody needs anything, reach out to Kate or I. We love you guys. Have a great rest of your week.
Sounds good. See ya.
Gary's vision speech.